Look at these two frames. Same moment, same person, same camera, but they feel completely different. One is warm, vibrant, like a tropical sunset. The other is cold, deep, like the ocean at night. And now tell me, which of these shots is the right one? If you're trying to choose, you've already lost, because there's no right or wrong in the world of vibrations. There's only what resonates with you right now and what leaves you indifferent. Most musicians spend years second-guessing themselves in the search for that perfect sound. They look for logic where there should be emotion. They search for the right because they're afraid to trust their taste. But here's the big secret of this reality. The universe is mental. If you set your mind to look for mistakes, you will only find mistakes. You've become so good at finding bad sounds that you just don't see the masterpieces that are already in your library. I'm going to show you how to stop looking and start recognizing. How to silence the noise of the industry within your mind and become the frequency that makes the right sounds find you. Welcome to the alchemy of sound. Let's begin. Let's start with the most common situation where you probably feel stuck right now. This is what I call the good and bad sound trap. So let's imagine that this is you. You have a lot of libraries, probably thousands, if not tens of thousands of sounds, and you still feel like it sounds bad, right? So now I want to show you the keys to changing that so you don't feel stuck anymore. So as we know, the universe is mental and you are the filter. If you are watching my videos for the first time, let me just give you an example so you understand why universe is mental. So let's say you create a track and you want to create a track. Where does it come from? Shit, I'm getting goosebumps while talking about this. Like every time I speak truth, like I get goosebumps. It's just insane. You imagine it first in your mind. If you have an idea and you're doing something, oh my god, like my body is vibrating, like literally I get waves of goosebumps on my back. Like this is true, guys. This is true. Okay? You have an idea, you first have it in your mind, and then you create it in the physical reality. We're not gonna go too deep into this, like me explaining the mechanics of the universe. Let's just keep it simple. So if you look for good, you're gonna find good. If you look for bad, you're gonna find bad, right? So the only problem that you have right now is that you're using this bad lens. This is a bad filter, and the more you focus on it, the more you're gonna see bad sounds, the more bad decisions you're gonna make when doing sound selection. But if we simply just switch to the good lens and we really focus all of your attention on the good things, and I'm gonna give you an example. So actually the reason why I'm making this video is because I had a call with my student this week, and I asked him like, what are the topics you would be interested in for me to make videos? And he told me sound selection. So a couple of things that he told me is I keep looking for bad. Or like bad, we could say what's wrong. And this is really the problem. The reason why you are stuck, and I want to say like quote unquote stuck, you are never stuck. You're only stuck because you believe you're stuck. But because you're so focused on, when you're selecting sounds, on what's wrong, what's not working, and you try to find that imperfection, you're going to inevitably find that. So all we really need to do, all we want to do, is just change your filter. Stop looking for imperfections. So now when it comes to selecting sounds for your track, why not just reframe that to something like, okay, every sound that I pick right now, I'm looking only for good things, not why it's not gonna work in the track, but rather why I think it could work for my track, right? And again, I'm getting a little bit of goosebumps on my back because I'm really passionate about this. And I've experienced that myself, and this is why I focus so much on the mental side of the music production, because this is really the key. Okay, now let me give you this jaw-dropping moment. This is a big insight. You're so good at this that you keep finding quote-unquote perfect bad sounds. When I say perfect bad sounds, it's like a metaphor. Like, you keep finding bad sounds that are so good at being bad, which basically just shows that you are a master of sound selection, but you're just doing it the other way around, right? So you are using your divine power against yourself. You're really good at this, because if you want to, I get goosebumps on my back. Okay, right? You're so good at this that you keep finding bad sounds for your tracks. Isn't that an argument that actually you are a professional at this? So now the solution is simple. We just want to claim that I'm always picking perfect sounds for my tracks. And even if it seems like this sound is not perfect, or there's something wrong with the sound in general, just say something different. The fact that the sound doesn't fit the track doesn't really make it a bad sound. Again, this is just a perception thing, which moves us to the next point, the vibration principle. And this is how I think about the sound selection, and if you start using this principle, you can do so much better with sound design. You can enjoy more, right? So really quickly, everything in this reality vibrates. So let's say if we take quantum physics, if you're a little bit more into science, like everything vibrates, like the particles, the atoms, everything vibrates. So when your heart, your vibration meets the right sound, or I don't want to even say right, but the sound that just, fits, resonates, you like it, right? What you get is this explosion, the resonance, because now we are not really you're not really pushing against yourself, which I'll speak about that just in a second. And this is really how it should be. Or like, when you're doing this way, it's just a lot more easier, it's just a lot more enjoyable, right? So let me explain this a little bit more. Your taste is your unique frequency. So sound selection is not logic. It's a resonance, aka emotion. As simple as that. There's zero logic. There's no bad sound. There's no good sound. There's only stuff that resonates. That's really the key. So here's the insight. You like sounds because they resonate with your frequency. There is a reason why you like certain sounds, certain styles of music, certain chord progressions, melodies, combination of sounds in the track. And you're just gonna waste time if you're gonna try to explain that with logic. You just like what you like. Fuck the logic, doesn't matter. I like what I like, and I'm not gonna try to explain it because there's just no point. Because the words, the language is very limited, and we are discussing something that human mind is basically we cannot comprehend the infinite spirit, or like the God. Like, it's so infinite that it's just hard to understand it with the human mind, and music is literally a part of that. So that's basically the point. There's, again, I just want to re-emphasize that there's no good, there's no bad sounds. There's only resonance. That's the only thing that matters, okay? So the only formula when you are picking sounds, does it resonate or does it not? Yes or no? There's not like, the moment you're gonna start trying to explain that with logic, this is where you're gonna get trapped. This is where you're gonna get like analysis paralysis, creative block. You're not gonna like the track that you're making, and so on and so on. Just because, again, it's a waste of time to try and explain this with logic, which drives us to the principle number 4, the polarity principle. So, as it says in the Kabbalion, the ancient Hermetic book, like the Hermetic principles, there's always two sides of anything in this reality. So in this example, I want to give you this explanation. So, good and bad is the same thing, vibrating on a different frequency. So if you take it from, let's just imagine for the second, is there good or bad for the God? Is there is there good or bad for God? Is there like trash, a masterpiece for the God? Like, God is everything. The only problem is when you start attaching too much to the trash, or even too much to the masterpiece. Masterpiece and trash, this is just an ego thing, ego construct, right? You start thinking that this is bad, or this is good, this is trash, this is a masterpiece. It's just one vibration, but the only difference is just the rate of this vibration. So just to put it like as a metaphor, just imagine that masterpiece vibrates on a higher level, and I was illustrating it here. But it's the same vibration, right? So there's technically no difference. So let me explain what bad sound, in my opinion, is using the Hermetic philosophy. Bad sound is a sound that does not resonate. And the fact that it does not resonate, now hear me out, with this track specifically, it doesn't make it a bad sound. It might be that it just doesn't resonate with this track specifically. Or you haven't yet found a way to use it. And again, this is also my point. Maybe it's so bold that you are just afraid to use it. You're probably thinking, this is probably not good enough, this is too much, even if it's just like an imaginary situation. The same principle applies. So there's no bad sounds. It either resonates or it doesn't with this track. So it's simple, guys. So hear me out. This is another big insight for you right now. Your sound selection might be perfect right now, but you're looking for something bad, right? And this is the problem. So how about we just you're looking for something bad, probably because of the perfectionism, and I can relate to that so much because, again, it's not that the sound is bad, it's more like you painted a picture of this perfect utopian track, like it's gonna be perfect, and then reality doesn't meet your expectation, and then you start talking shit about yourself, you start finding arguments against yourself. It's just a spiritual self-sabotage. Think about this. This is deep, like really deep. Most creators, and like people on this planet, you're so used to this spiritual self-sabotage that instead of finding arguments for yourself, you've been trained to find arguments against yourself. So you are using your, I'm even gonna write here quote unquote, because this is not real, failures. We could say failures / negative experience to prove you're bad or not good enough. This is fucked, but I'm just painting the picture for you so you can really recognize this stuff, like what I'm teaching you right now is way more, like, it's way more important than learning how to do fucking sound design or like all those like technical principles. Because if your mindset is fucked, if your mental plane is not, you're not in the right state of consciousness, then nothing is going to work, right? So the solution is, let's change perfectionism to character, to the vibe. And instead of judging your tracks, start really thinking about your tracks in terms of the character, in terms of the vibe. Not like, oh, it doesn't sound like my favorite artist, then it means like I'm doing something wrong. My sound selection is bad, my mixing is bad. No, I'm sorry, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Every art deserves to be appreciated. Every track that you make deserves to be appreciated. And I don't care if you're an artist, music artist, visual artist, designer, whatever you do, it doesn't freaking matter. And the same thing we can apply to, for example, this thing as muddiness, grit. So, excuse me, grit and muddiness, these are not a mistake. It's life. I'm even going to give you an example. So I am filming this video. I have my camera and I'm filming on 1971 vintage Japanese lens. It has character. And I get fucking goosebumps again in my body. This is real. It has character. I am not gonna use any modern lenses for like, I don't know, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 because they look like shit. They don't have the character. Yes, this lens, it has natural imperfections, natural, how you call it? Like, we could just say imperfection, like mistakes. It's not perfect. It may look kinda interesting when, you know, when you film certain things like lights, the blur, the bokeh that it gives. It has character. I'm not looking for perfect. I don't give a fuck. What I want is life. And I even ordered another lens for my camera. It's a German, around like similar age, like, I don't know, 1960, 1970, something like that. Because I'm looking for the character. I'm not looking for maximum clarity that, for example, modern lenses provide, because it's dead, right? So even if the track sounds muddy, who cares? Like, who gives a fuck? Now, this is gonna be the big one for most of you, because if you're experiencing some problems, like you're struggling with sound selection, this is the key, guys. The correspondence principle. So, as it says in the Hermetic principles, in Hermetic philosophy, as above, so below, as below, so above, something like that. Basically, what it means, what you have on the mental plane, you're gonna see that in the physical reality. And what you see in physical reality is a reflection of what you have in your mind. Now we can extrapolate this principle to music production. So the problem that most of you have, and I experienced that myself, but no longer right now, because I just decided I'm not experiencing this. This is like, it's a decision like this. You can make a decision like, I'm not struggling with this anymore. But basically, you have your vision, your creative vision. So let's illustrate it as this cool green circle. This is your vibe, this is your aura. And what happens, you let the opinions, these quote-unquote standards, tutorials, self-doubt, limiting beliefs, you let it penetrate your vision, your aura, and that poison gets inside and it poisons you. It makes you frustrated. It makes you fear. It makes you compare yourself. It makes you just like not very happy. But what we want to do is, you just don't let the noise from the world enter your temple. Don't let this bullshit dictate your taste. So we are not waiting for the validation and approval from the world. You want to become your own validation. And what I mean by this is, if you vibe with it, It's a masterpiece. Now, let me just ask you this. Do you have enough balls, enough conviction, confidence to say, I make the best music ever? Can you just stand in front of the mirror right now and say, I make the best music ever? I love my music. My music is amazing. Those kind of things. I don't give a fuck about the standards. I don't give a fuck about the industry. I don't care about anyone or anything that goes against my taste and my vision. Fuck the industry. Fuck the rules. Claim that. I want you to claim that, because that's really the key. And most of you are severely depreciating yourself. You're not really valuing, like, you are looking for the bad things when in reality you are doing so much better than you can imagine. That you're like thinking of yourself right now, and you are so much better as well than you think you are. It's just, you know, the society, you have forgotten that you're not just a human body. You are the eternal consciousness having a human experience. That's really the key. Stop fighting all that mental bullshit. You just make a decision. My taste is what matters. I don't care about, like, do you have big enough balls to say, I like my music more than the references? I like my music more than like anything else out there. And let me be clear, this is not like an ego thing. I'm not really putting myself on the pedestal. I mean, metaphysically, in my imagination I do, but not like in the way that I'm talking down like other people. It's more like just having a high self-concept. Loving yourself, respecting yourself, appreciating your taste and your vision. Not because someone told you have to do it this way, but more like, what do I believe? What do I like? Again, the principle is, if you vibe with it, it's a masterpiece. That's all that matters. And you don't need to watch another fucking 10,000 tutorials on sound selection. All you want to do is allow yourself to trust your taste. Trust what you want, not what others expect from you. Trust what you want, not that perfect fucking utopian perfectionist image of the track, or like whatever in your mind. It doesn't matter. So now the final thing for this video is claim that I am a master. I know what I like in terms of music. I'm looking for resonance, not perfection. So the final words for this video: stop looking for mistakes. You're not picking sounds. You are recognizing them. And if you can recognize the sound, even if it seems like technically incorrect, if this sound speaks to you, do it. Use it in your track. All right, my friend. That's it for this video. If you want to dive into the spiritual side of music and you want to just continue watching, then check out this video next here. I'm gonna put the next logical video that is a perfect fit for this one.